Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to Kaleidospoke Podcast with myself, Aaron, and the wonderful Richie Rich. How you doing, my friend?
The crowd goes wild.
If you have not subscribed to our podcast on Spotify, Apple, please do that immediately. And you can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, maybe Facebook one day, but we probably will decline. Ooh. You know, I was planning to do like the whole UFC, like the whole fighting in the red corner. You know, but it just left my mind as soon as I started. How you doing, my friend? You okay?
I'm good. I love the intro. Yeah. You set the bar high.
This is a world event, you know. You gotta make sure that the audience are entertained at all times. So,
are you not entertained? Sorry, I might just continue doing all this. There's like interjections throughout the whole show. So.
It's all right. You know, having a good time, having a good life. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us once again. As I said in the intro, please follow us, subscribe, you know, send reviews. Reviews are great. Apple reviews. Come on. That's the stuff we need. So, you know, today on this amazing podcast, we've got a few hot topics. First one's first. Apparently, mate, there's a big boat stuck in the river somewhere, and it's stopping pretty much $6.5 billion trade daily. You know, it's blocking up the whole canal. Actually, to be fair, today, which is the 29th of March, today they did manage to move this almost like skyscraper-like boat blocking the Suez Canal in Egypt. And man, like, this has been the talk of the town for the last week, that you got this huge, massive Japanese-owned vessel, kind of like not only stuck with all its cargo on there, which I'm sure is worth a ton of money, it's actually blocking all the other ships passing through this vital canal in Egypt. So, you know, there's a ton of implications for this. You know, so it's 1 week of trade that's, you know, halted. And I mean, I was reading, and there was a ton of like implications, well, perceived implications for this. You know, I think there was one source speculated that prices of goods are going to go up because of this 1 week.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but you know, the idea that, you know, this world moves on clockwork, right? Like, so if something kind of stops the time, like, what is the build up from that? Like, how does that traffic pile up? You know, and how does that affect us? I mean, I think Egypt, it was reported that they were losing like $14 million of revenue every day because, you know, like, the ships won't be able to pour. It's been a thing. And you know, you've even had activists come out and talk about sizes of ships. No ship should be this big. And you know, the idea is that this ship is pretty much the size of a skyscraper. You know, I've seen pictures, and you've seen like almost like, I don't know, cruise ships next to this thing. It looks like ants next to a bloody rhinoceros. So it's like you've got this huge vessel just blocking the width of an entire canal. I mean, what have you heard? What's the update, Mr. Rich?
Oh well, I just it's kind of like you know, there's those incidents that you have in your toilet, right? You know, you just get a blockage, and and you know, it's going to take a few different angles to, you know, to get it unblocked, and it's yes, it's a problem.
I think so.
Maybe it's just me. But I know that there's this big sort of F off ship, a container ship with a whole bunch of stuff on it, and it's causing issues, right? So interestingly, like about 80% or maybe even 90% of world trade is on sea. So all sort of global goods, not or 80%, 90% of them are sort of go on sea and they sort of move from country to country. And the Suez Canal is a very key strategic path. Like, because of this blockage, they've had to divert a whole bunch of sort of boats and ships around Africa, and so without that, it extends the sort of travel time by like I think 2 weeks or something like that, or near enough. But because the Suez Canal goes straight through, it kind of leads its way into sort of Europe a lot easier, especially from Asia. I think that's why it's caused such a rift in the industry. Oh, I don't know. I think that's why. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's crazy. I think that's why it's caused such a rift in the news, because it's a huge hit for these. As you kind of mentioned, these sort of voyages are timed to the sort of day almost, and when there are delays, someone has to pay. Either the shipper or the receiver. Normally, it's the shipper. Like until the boat gets in the dock or on the port, and then I think there's this like process where the port operator, they take control, and once it docks, that's when the time starts for the receiver. But until then, the cost is on the shipper or the owner of the ship, or the agent if they've sort of leased it out. So this is costing a whole bunch of money to all these people, for all these companies, and some might go out of business or just take a huge hit, and many of them also have insurances on these things. So yeah, it's crazy. And also I don't know what was on the container, but as you kind of mentioned, some of this stuff is like just in time product. So the knock-on effects might be interesting, because actually it's not just what's on this container, it's what it stops, the other sort of hundreds of voyages that it stopped since. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was reading, apparently it backed up just over 300 ships. So, to think about if you've got like perishable goods on any of these ships, that's a huge issue. And like you said, like I think this, like you mentioned, I think the Suez Canal kind of has got this kind of direct path, and like diverting around it is like 10 days, like you said. So it's like, if there are any perishable goods on any of these things that are working within like a certain time frame, you're likely to find some type of knock-on effect. And I think the reason why it's in the news, because it's almost like an emergency situation, right? It's like a lot of people want their stuff. A lot of people want their stuff. A lot of countries want their stuff. It's not simply a stuff coming from Amazon, like there's probably very important things on there, and I mean, the thing that is crazy for me to think about is the actual size of this vessel.
I know, huge.
It is huge. It's like almost, I would have liked to have gone up, if it like got stuck there for like a year, let's say, yeah. I'd have liked to have like gone to Egypt and checked it out. Do you know what I mean? To just see how big it is, and to think, these cargo ships are going around the world all the time. You mentioned what, 80 to 90% of trade is on sea. I remember once upon a time back in the day, I was in Panama, and I had this excursion to like a jungle somewhere. But in going to the jungle, we went along the Panama Canal, and the guy was talking about how much trade like goes through this canal. It's another key route, and like the numbers were astonishing. It was just like, wow, like these are things that normal people that aren't involved in logistics don't think about. It's not. You just see shipping 3 to 4 days and then it comes. It's like it's magic, but it's not. It's not like
Mm.
it requires everything almost to work like clockwork. And it's this thing has stopped the clock.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I think because of this, not say globalization, but the world's demand for goods, all of these container ships have just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's caused for example, I think it was the wind that blew this ship off course a bit, and it kind of went a bit wayward, and that's why it got stuck. But it was so big that there wasn't that much wriggle room or margin of error for it to have. And it's a similar thing in the Panama Canal as well. They had to widen that, and there was a big sort of investment project to widen that canal so it can pass through Panama, which is another sort of key sort of route as well. So the more and more these get bigger, I think these canals will have to just I don't know, have to expand them or something like that. But the world trade is it's a very interesting place. There's a whole industry, and it's huge, huge.
I mean, and the other argument to this, or the other side of this now, you've got environmentalists even questioning why ships this big are out there. Like there will clearly be some cost to the environment, but the truth is, not trying to come off a subject too much, but the truth is, it is as everybody, becomes richer, we all want more stuff. And I'm also talking about like economies that were once upon a time not wealthy at all. Like they're seeing their industrialization now. Some people are starting to get rich. So these are continents, like now just got onto the map of demand for stuff, So how do you like kind of manage this demand of things without affecting the environment so detrimentally? It's like it's like an interesting question, which I'm not really sure the answer to.
Yeah. I know that there are some efforts for the shipping industry to change the fuel type that they use. I think right now it uses some pretty dirty stuff, and I think there's been some legislation recently to kind of like force these new vessels to start being a bit more economically friendly. So, but that's not to say that it's pure sort of nice hydro powered stuff, machines. But yeah, it's definitely something that various bodies are looking at for sure. I mean, what I would say is I would hate to be the captain of this vessel. Imagine that.
Oh, the fallout is going to be ridiculous for him or her.
You'll be on a hit list.
Imagine the kind of risky stuff that's on those ships, and then when like serious people approach you and say, what on earth happened? You say the wind blew me a little bit, and then they just got stuck. I don't know. You might need to secure your family after that. I can't lie. You might need to do something.
Hiding,
Yeah. That's not a fun ride. That's not a fun ride at all. And all over the news the whole week. Pretty crazy, man.
All over it. What's the ship's name's MV Evergreen. So yeah, I think it was coming from Taiwan to it's supposed to go to the Netherlands. So
yeah. I mean, I think it's Japanese as well. I think it's a Japanese owned ship. Not that makes any difference. I don't think. Just who's going to be responsible? That's the biggest question. Who's going to be responsible for this blunder?
Yeah.
And
who's going to pay up?
Yeah. And whoever that is, I'm so sorry. That bill is going to be disgusting.
Well, it's normally, I guess, like the Lloyd's of London, and they're big insurance brokers for the shipping industry and other various things. And a lot of these voyages have insurance to some extent. Right. I don't know, it'd be interesting in the terms and conditions when stuff like this happens. are any of them covered to limit their liability? Like, because again, the clock's ticking. It costs money to keep these ships running. You can't just turn them off. You have to keep them on while they're on sea. So I think it was like Allianz said that the blockage would cost like global trade between $6 billion and $10 billion
a day.
Just I think a week.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Wow, man. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. Well, it is. We're glad now that it's been moved, which is great. Hopefully, our Amazon products come this week. I kind of need that blender. Got stuff to do.
Got stuff to do. Really important stuff.
Got stuff to do. Oh man. All right. Look, let's think about moving forward into a world post lockdown, because it's coming. Like I've been out there this past week. Things are looking bright. The sun's out, people are out, parks are packed. Like rosé is getting moved off the shelf. That's how you know summer is on its way. Like people are getting the rosé and strawberries in for those park picnics. What are the kind of things that you, the audience, are looking forward to? What have you missed? And before while you guys think about that, I'll ask you, sir. Like, what have you missed? What's the first thing you're gonna do once all restrictions have been lifted?
I'll probably go to Nando's. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think it's just the fact that you can have things to look forward to, right? Like, with a group of friends, you can catch up. You can say, okay, let's put something in a diary and catch up. And I think everyone's just been in their own bubble and very much like just staying in, staying safe, don't want to risk it for a biscuit, and nothing really is going on anyway. Like, what are you gonna, when it's been cold in here in the UK, are you gonna go around and take a walk? I mean, not many of my friends want to go around and take a walk and talk. So it would be good to like just put some things in a diary and sit down, have a drink, and some food. What about you?
Have you booked anywhere?
Not yet, but I know it's hella hard.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah. It's pretty booked up.
Big problem.
Yeah. It's like restaurants have got this huge, massive ship blocking it, and we can't get there. That ship is bookings, and we are the ships. We can't get there.
Yeah. It's great for small businesses, though. It's great for them because they need to. Hopefully, for them, it'd be like a bounce back, like a real strong bounce back. Although they probably need to work at sort of some half capacity because of perhaps, I don't know if we still will have the social distancing rules, 1 meter, 2 meters indoors, but yeah. Hopefully, there's going to be a lot of pent up demand. Just people just want to get out and get booking.
Yeah. I think there is. I mean, I was speaking to someone recently, and they were trying to get a booking for, like, I think it was like the first week when everything kind of comes off, and they were trying to get a booking for dinner at one of their favorite restaurants, and the only booking that they could get for the next 2 weeks was 10:45 a.m. on one random day. It was like, ooh, that does not spell good. That spells bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, you asked what am I looking forward to?
Yeah.
Most?
What do you look for?
Restaurants, man. Food. It's a place where I can go.
Food.
The food is piping hot. I'm gonna pay for some overpriced wine, and I'm gonna hear all this chatter in the background of conversations that are nothing to do with me. Just the vibe of people, and not have to wash up the dishes in the end. I'm really looking forward to that experience once again, and yeah. That's the biggest thing. But like just being amongst, just the noise, the buzz, the energy of a crowd. I'm really looking forward to that. it's part of our nature to be social, and for the last year, on and off, we haven't really kind of had that to a large extent. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, I don't think the restrictions stop this, but I'm actually looking forward to going to the park. I mean, I know I could have always, but what I mean is that now the restrictions are easing, and combined with the weather getting better, it's like the park's looking attractive again. Do you know what I mean? Today was a great day. It's like, if people feel comfortable going out again, and the sun is out, like Greenwich Park, Hyde Park, they all look attractive again. They all look like, all right, let's just grab a bottle and go down there and just chop it up, just chat. And that was one of the good things about lockdown last year, that was discovered as an activity. That was like, yeah, because there was nothing else to do. It was like pretty much, the sun's out, everywhere's closed, but the park is there, and then the park became like the place where just everyone was, and
the melting pot.
Yeah, and that was actually a shout, especially given that the likelihood of us getting much international travel this summer is limited. Yeah. So those things are the main things, really.
Yeah, I agree. I think just like food is such a central part of everyone's life. I mean, I remember like when I go on a holiday, like the first thing I'm thinking about is breakfast. And then, especially, okay, like put this as an example. First, it's a kind of resort holiday. First thing I'm thinking about is breakfast. Then after breakfast, I'll go to the pool, and then I'm thinking about lunch. And after lunch, I'm thinking, okay, I'm a bit hot. Let me have a shower and then get ready for dinner. And food is central to many of our life, or everyone's life, really. But the fact to share those moments and share that hour or two with friends and family, is I don't know, it's key. It's key to kind of social well-being, welfare, mindfulness. Say mindfulness, but being mentally stable and stimulated. So I think a huge amount of people have missed all this, which is for those that have seen it through, it's good on you. Give yourself a pat on the back. But there's going to be a lot of happy faces soon to come.
It's funny that you mentioned that, when you're on holiday, your whole thing is pretty much structured by food, right? Like, and when you're on holiday, it's like you don't have work, right? So you're not working generally. So it's almost like it's arguable to say that food or meals, like, they structure our day. They're a big part of our day structure. Like, like when there's nothing on, like by about 9, 10 a.m. breakfast, about 12, 1 p.m. lunch, about 5, 6, 7 p.m. It's dinner. And like I think if everything's opened, it's going to be interesting, because I imagine at each of those points you're just not going to get bookings, because that is the time we're all doing that. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to getting some octopus. That is what I'm looking forward to most. I don't care. That is it. We should hit that place up, bro. Honestly.
I'm down. Yeah, I've been thinking about that place a couple of times actually. So I'm absolutely down.
Yeah.
Perfect octopus.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Let's assume that we can, within the next year, we can get back to holiday making, as us Brits love to do. Where would you want to go, and what type of holiday would you like to have if you could?
I think probably Asia. And I'm thinking like Vietnam or Thailand or somewhere like that. Just to kind of get somewhat far, but not crazy, and and just feel the buzz. I love the energy of Asia. Asia's got like a great energy. And I wouldn't. Yeah, that's where I'll go, or the Caribbean, or like Jamaica, St. Lucia, somewhere like that.
You're trying to get out of the whole continent. You're like, I'm out. I'm out. Exit
Different
group.
time zone. I'm out. Like if it's not a 5-hour time difference, then it's not far enough.
You don't want anyone to contact you. Yeah, no, for me, I'm on the opposite. Like, I think I'd like somewhere pretty close, like Greece. Greece looks good. Just for a week,
Yeah, Greece is good.
just chill the hell out. Like I'm not the type of person that could sit and sunbathe all day. Like, that's not my life when I'm on holiday. But I don't think it would be one of those holidays where I've got like an excursion every day and trekking through jungles and all that stuff. I don't think it'd be that. I just want to like a week where there's constant sun, there's food, I meet a few new people, and just reflect with some sea and some beach. Nothing too mentally strenuous. That'd be great. And the idea of I'd love to go to Asia for sure, because like you said, like when you mentioned like the buzz of I remember being in Bangkok, man. Like the buzz of it is just like, oh, it's mad. And I think luckily because we're from London, it's like we understand a buzz, we understand buzzing, so it doesn't scare us, but for some people it was scary. But like Bangkok was like that on crack, it's like like there's like pollution everywhere, there's all these tourists, it's like everyone's moving super fast. You stick out like a thumb, but like nobody cares. It's all quick, and it's like I'm alive here. This feels alive.
Definitely. Yeah. The hustle and bustle, right, of it, and just the dynamism of it, and I think when you go like somewhere like that where you kind of have to be, it's not like you're calm and relaxed and you're on the beach. You're quite you're quite stimulated because you have a lot going on around you, like that hustle and bustle. Like Bangkok, for example. So it makes you that sort of stimulation of flashing lights and language and smells and all those senses highly alert. That's what makes a holiday great. Like that's that feeling of you being alive, like something being new. Like when you step off a plane and you go like a country, like maybe I remember like the smell of Jamaica or St. Lucia, like you just smell it in the air, and just that alone puts you in a different mood. So yeah, I can't wait. I mean, I'm talking about it like I'm already there. Like just close my eyes.
Yeah, bro, I'm there. As I'm talking about it, I'm thinking about, because I heard like in Greece they do really good octopus.
Follow the octopus.
Like, but I'm just thinking, man, like I've seen the Mediterranean Sea, like it looks super blue. Yeah, I could just do that. I could do that. And you're right. There's like very different types of holidays, right? Like in the Caribbean, you've got your people, and you've got food that you're used to, and things are very relaxed. You can't expect anything to go fast. Everything goes like at their time. I remember I met this guy one time, and he said something to me that like stuck with me for a while. He said, "Let's see, you English people, you got watches, but we got the time." And I was like, yeah, okay. I hear you. And
that's so true.
Yeah, and yeah, but like you said, like something about being in that super immersive culture of Asia or a big city is like, oh, that's super alluring, man. I can't wait to get back to it. I can't wait for food markets as well. Like, when you go to a new country and you just go down the food market and you see some crazy stuff. Like, I mentioned it before, but Thailand, man, I saw some fruits that were like weird. I went to one market and there was like mad frogs because it was a delicacy, but it was like big frogs, like huge, massive bullfrogs. So, again, it's like you said, like it's all stimulation. It's all like, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, what's this smell? Oh, these lights are like, wow, look, these people don't look like me. Oh, wow, they're looking at me. Oh, wow, where am I going next? And it's like all this combination is just another confirmation that you're alive and you're winning.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exhilarating.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Our last subject is definitely along some completely different lines. And, we've kind of like the transition is just going to be like, okay, guys, here it is. So,
But
boom. So, we got the Olympics coming up this year, hopefully, Tokyo 2021. Boom. Something that, the whole world gets involved in is great. Every time the Olympics comes around, we're all looking out for our native countries and, the stars that we like, and them doing the things that we wish we could do. We can kind of do them, but just not to that level. But, there's another type of sports that has kind of become prevalent over the last 10 years, I'd say. And that's eSports. Esports, which is effectively professional video gaming. And since the rise of the internet, the improvement in computing power, globalization, you started to see like video games played at such a competitive level that you've got huge companies backing events, huge companies backing teams and creating teams. I think Drake invested in a team. I can't remember the name, but he's invested in a team. And you've got huge blue chip companies, Red Bull, Nike, sponsoring teams in this arena. So, I remember being like a kid, right, and having PlayStation 1, and I think my first game was Tekken 2, and I was like, oh wow, like this game, I'll play it, and it was like, yeah, sick. But my mum would tell me to get off of it. Like, I can't be on that all day, But like over time, things have changed. You've got kids that, not just kids, but young adults as well, that play these games day in, day out as a profession and getting paid a ton of money, a ton to stream, a ton for events. I think we've got a website that talks about esports, and I think we wrote a report. I think it was at the beginning of 2020. We did a roundup of like everything that happened in 2019, and like even then, like from 2019, the industry was worth over $200 billion. So and since then, it's I imagine it's only grown. And the types of games that you'll see played in an esports kind of setting is the Fortnite, is Dota, League of Legends, what's that one? Counter Strike, and all these are played for huge prize funds. So, kind of relating it back to the Olympics, they're already huge events. But could you see somewhere like a world Olympic level esports competition where the masses, like everybody, not people that are just like the fringes of society, but everybody is tuning in to watch these people compete for their country?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's only a matter of time, because the numbers are super high. In terms of the viewership, some of these sports, like these games, get even more viewership than many other sports. Like it's up there, and I think so it's only a matter of time, because we kind of spoke about it previously about the metaverse and the digital world, and this is almost like convergence in a way, right? More and more these revenues will get bigger, the interest will get bigger. I think even esports are starting to be shown on television now, and dedicated channels, etc. And as the access becomes more and more, and even adults are becoming more, or parents are becoming more, I guess, accepting that their children may be a professional gamer and it's an actual career. It just gets accepted more and more, and the rigidities of the Olympics is, I think they've proven pretty up for change. Like they've had various different changes across time in terms of the Paralympics, and I think what was the recent one that was supposed to happen last year, where the sex changed. I don't know, something like you could have a sex change and actually partake in a male could have a sex change into a female and partake in as a female, as in the Olympics, and that was a recent change. So it feels like the Olympics the bodies can are open to change, and I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, some of the figures that these guys make. I think he's not in esports anymore. I don't think he was ever. I think he was a professional gamer, but he's definitely like probably one of the main streamers in video gaming. That was Ninja, right? And Ninja, he would play Fortnite, and I think his streaming numbers would net him around about 500,000 a month, dollars. So like even once a lot of the professional players, once they leave their kind of station on the stage, they kind of move into streaming and start getting their followers on Twitch, and it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting, and it's pretty interesting that how old we're mid-30s, so we're probably part of the generation that grew up with video games just being there. So our children are gonna, when they start, it's gonna be like PlayStation 3 would be the first thing that was there, right? Like when our kids came, PlayStation 4 maybe. So they're already at like, these things are in society. These things are here. So as parents, we'll be like, yeah, we know they're here. We also grew up with them too. So I think going forward, this career path seems more and more viable. And it's like, okay, yeah. We know people make money out of this. So yeah, you can be a professional gamer, son, if you want. Let's get you in the bedroom. I'll come and bring you your food, and you just stay in here. Forget your maths. No maths.
No maths. This gaming.
No maths. It's gaming now.
And what it takes to become a professional player is pretty intense. Like these guys game for 12 hours a day, 18 hours a day, like serious hours they have to put in to be up there. And yeah, if mental health has always been and a sort of question on this. But yeah, I think and also like the longevity of a esports player, you can get burned out very quickly. So that's why it's more of something that younger players would be in on and part of and have been. I think one of the sort of I was watching something the other day on one of the sort of big sort of esports players. I forgot his name, but that's the Swedish guy. What's his name?
Notail.
Notail. That's it. And I think he was 27, and he is 27. And he was saying, he's like an oldie in this whole business, Another interesting thing is like the sports clubs. They have their own sort of, all these football clubs have their own sort of esports teams like PSG and Roma, and that's an interesting space as well, because that's actually, a sports team getting representation for an esports team. So it's only a matter of time before countries do it.
The space is always evolving, and I think I'm excited about this scene for sure. It's a great scene, and I found I've struggled to understand how these guys play at that level. But like you mentioned, like they kind of, I think I was reading something, they get burned out by the time they're like 24, right? So it's like, and not only do they get burnt out, like in order to keep up with the competition, I think they take a ton of like nootropics, for that kind of mental agility. So, like the competition's only getting stiffer, and actually it is then kind of bringing out that the an athlete effectively. That's what is being molded. Because as the competition gets stiffer, the quality of player gets better. So you've got these people that have dexterity in their fingers, like to some crazy degree compared to anybody else. So yeah, man, it's an interesting scene. I'd be interested to see if it has its own games. I'll take that back. They already have their own games in their own sports, in their own leagues. But I'd like to see like an eSports Olympics, where all the games are played in this event, and like country representatives are there. Because currently it's like clubs, right? It's like club football. They all got teams, but there isn't here's Norway or here's the UK representing to play League of Legends. But I, like you said, I think it's coming, and I think ESPN are invested. I think they've got like their own little channel thing. Red Bull are heavily invested. Right. I think Red Bull are the biggest backers of this whole thing.
Red Bull have done well. That's the kind of funny thing, isn't it? It's like they've jumped on this, and the players, I imagine, like just drinking 10, 20 cans of Red Bull a day, which like that's gonna catch up on you real quick. So yeah, I think as I say, it's an interesting space, and it's only getting bigger, and the legitimacy of it is growing year on year as these prize pools get bigger, the money gets bigger, the viewership gets bigger. I find it really fascinating, like these esports events, the amount of crowd turnout that it has, and the fanship that it has is great. It's got, like, I haven't been to one yet, but it's got a great. It feels like it's got a great buzz from the videos that I've seen.
Yeah. I think there was one event. I think it was like League of Legends, and like the turnout was bigger than the Super Bowl or something like that. Which again, super crazy. It's like some huge, massive arena in Korea, I believe. So yeah, while most of us are unaware of all this happening, you got all these like esports events going on, all in plain sight that the average person who's not interested in gaming is missing. And then obviously off of esports, you've got like the other kind of subsections like cosplay and all these kind of like exhibition events surrounding esports and characters from the games. It's just a huge industry. It's huge. It's likely to blow up even more over time into the mainstream. And I'd be interested to see a future with that. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I mean, Olympics every 4 years. So in 20 years, you'll have like 5. I don't know. Just thinking, would it happen in our lifetime in the next 20 years?
I think so. Yeah.
Predictions? Yeah.
So what, we've got this one. We'll have one in 2020. I think by the next, we've got Tokyo. I don't know where the next one is, but the one after that, I think there'll be esports in there.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
So in 8 years' time.
Yeah. 8 years' time, I think esports will be in there. Yeah.
Okay.
You?
Okay.
What do you think?
I'll go higher. I might go like 12 to just kind of like head your bet, but I think maybe 16.
Okay, fair.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. We will see next time on this episode of Kaleidospoke Podcast. I'm joking. Yes. Well, look, man, it's been another great episode. Great talking to you again. I hope everybody's enjoyed this episode. Like we say, just follow us on our Insta, like comment on our stories. We put questions every week on our posts, just like those kind of like philosophical wanderings. So go along and just check some of the questions out and answer them, because they're pretty cool. But yeah, like, everyone just keep being cool. I hope you enjoy everything when the lockdown ends very shortly. And yeah, any words from you?
Stay frosty.
Stay frosty.